Welcome into the Ravens Rundown. I am your host, Joey Petersen. On today's show, we're going to be looking at 5 guys that I'm expecting to have a breakout season in 2025. The draft has come and gone. The schedule release has come and gone. Now it's time to talk about some football. Welcome to the show. So happy you guys are with me. If you guys have not subscribed already, this is the perfect time to do so, okay? If you hate the Chiefs and if you love the Ravens, or love the Ravens, those are 2 perfect reasons right there. We've been battling the Chiefs all month long. It is a very, very tight race. We're just over the halfway mark through the month. We got a little bit of time left, but time is also running out at the same time. So do me one big favor, hit that big red sub button and join us today. Let's start with breakout player number 1. That is Mr. Rashad Baitman, wide receiver going into his 4th season with the Baltimore Ravens, and last year was his best one yet. 45 catches, 756 yards, 9 touchdowns as well. Proved to be a really solid deep threat, 16.8 yards per catch. And if I look into 2025, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I expect Bateman to get over 1,000 yards. And when I say I expect him to, I basically mean if he does it, I'm not going to be surprised one bit, okay? He was pretty close to doing it last year, and I think he's going to even take that big of a jump this next season. If you look at the highest percentage of receptions that were for a first down or a touchdown, Rashad Bateman led the entire National Football League at 77.8%. This is a guy who makes sure every time he's targeted, it counts, and he's always open at the perfect and right times. He makes those big plays. He does those things that you need, those type of wide receivers, those guys that you want to rely on. He does those things for Lamar Jackson. He was top 5 in yards per catch with 16.6. Like, he's a deep threat. He's a big play guy. You saw him in that Tampa Bay game. You saw him in the game against the Chargers. Like, you know what he can do. He showed it last year. Now I'm expecting him to make that next jump. Honestly, he might be wide receiver 1 in 2025. And I'm not saying that as a slight against Zay Flowers. I'm more saying that as a confidence in Rashad Bateman, okay? This is a guy that has done everything that Baltimore has needed him to after, his first true season, getting to learn from the guys like Odell Beckham Jr., being that wide receiver 3. And then last year, flashing onto the scene. This year, I expect it to be his best one yet. True or false, all right? Pretend you're taking a test. Pretend this is the SATs. Rashad Bateman will have over 1.5 thousand yards in 2025. Is that true or is that false? If it's true, go ahead, type a T for me in the comment section down below. If it's false, go ahead, type an F. Let's get into breakout player number 2, a name we love, a guy we love. That's Mr. Isaiah Likely, the tight end who's going into a contract year. A little bit more on that in just a little bit. I don't want to say, it's so hard with Isaiah Likely because he's had such a wonderful first game. Ended up with 477 yards and 6 touchdowns on the year, but 2024 wasn't disappointing. That's not what I'm trying to say. But after flashing onto the scene with 111 yards receiving against Kansas City in week 1, everybody was like, oh my goodness, this dude's about to pop off. He might catch for 1,500 yards. And then for the rest of the regular season, he only had 1 game above 50 yards receiving, right? I expected a little bit of bigger things from him in 2024 after that opening game. But the good thing about Likely is he came through when it counted. In the playoffs, 7 catches, 126 yards, 18 yards per catch, which for a tight end is unbelievable, and also a touchdown as well. Interesting note, like I said off the top, this is a contract year for Likely. So if you're going to get the best version of Isaiah Likely, it's going to be this year. He's going to want to prove to everybody, to Eric DeCosta, to anybody in this front office and organization, look, hey, Mark Andrews is getting older. He's in a contract year as well. You're going to pick one of the 2 of those guys to sign. It's probably not going to be Mark, but Isaiah Likely is going to make sure it's not him. Say, go with the younger. I'm the future of the tight end position right here in Baltimore. Let's talk about breakout player number 3. How about Bo Braid? I know This one's a little out of left field, but you're kind of going to need him to be a breakout player because of what happened with Darius Washington. Ian Rappaport, of course, is the one who broke the news a couple of days ago. It was a torn Achilles for the safety that everybody was really, really excited to see, kind of do his thing in this next year after he had a phenomenal year last year. And if you look at the free agent market, you got some really good options in Justin Simmons, Julian Blackmon, Jordan Whitehead. We've already talked about all three of those guys, but I wouldn't be surprised if Zach Orr and Baltimore just go with Bo Braid. That would not shock me in the slightest. We all know how many times John Harbaugh says we like our guys. That's probably his most common phrase. If he was a Woody doll and you had to pick the phrase that came out of his mouth when you pulled the string back, it would be, we like our guys. And I think there's a reason to like Bo Braid, okay? When you looked at him play in the preseason last year, he stood out to you. He was like one of my biggest standout players, 16 tackles in 3 games. 8 of those were run stops, a forced fumble, a pass deflection as well. And if you look at the film, if you look at the tape from last year, he plays without regard for his body. He throws himself around. He makes the big hits. He's aggressive. He's violent. And that's exactly what Zach Orr loves out of that safety role. And if you're going in to replace Darius Washington, you don't necessarily need to be the best in coverage. Darius Washington was good in coverage, but he wasn't this unbelievable Ed Reed type safety. No, he was used mostly in run support, and that's where he thrives. It's exactly where Bo Braid thrives as well. And I know he was an undrafted free agent just a year ago, only showed himself in 3 games in 2024 in the regular season. But still, I really, really think this guy is going to be something really special. And now there's an opening, that strong safety spot right next to Malachi Starks. Bo Braid just might be the guy that's going to fill it. What say you guys? Let me know down there in the comment section. What will the Ravens do to replace Darius Washington? Will they get a guy in free agency, or are they just going to go with Bo Braid? You let me know in the comment section down below by typing FA or BB. While you're down there, make sure to click on that link, chatsports.com/KingHenry. That'll take you to Fanatics, where you can get yourself a Derrick Henry jersey. This past week, of course, if you didn't live under a rock, he signed a 2-year, $30 million extension. So he's going to be with the Baltimore Ravens for a very, very long time through the 2027 season. So we got 3 more years of the King. If you want to rock his jersey, if you want to support him, support the show, support Fanatics, go to chatsports.com/KingHenrys. Get your jersey today. Of course, that link is in the comments and description of today's video. Let's give you 2 more before we get on out of here. Number 4, Nate Wiggins, sticking in the defensive back room. This might be, of all 4 of these guys, the guy I expect to have the best season in 2025. Let's just go over some outstanding stats for you, boy. 67 targets in 2024, 0 touchdowns allowed. When he was targeted, QBs had a QB or quarterback rating of 59.7. He had 13 passes defended, 8 pass breakups. So not only was he sticky in coverage, he was active with his hands as well. And he allowed a catch rate of 43.6%. It's the lowest in the National Football League. All 4 of those things as a rookie. And I get it. He wasn't giving you starting snaps, especially the first 12 weeks of the season. He definitely got a little bit more snaps as the season went on, and I think that's part of the reason this defense had such a big turnaround. All that to say, I expect a big jump from him, okay? Not necessarily with those numbers, because he's going to be playing more snaps, which means he's going to get targeted more, which means he's probably going to end up letting up a touchdown, maybe 2 in 2025, but I expect him to just be making play after play after play and prove to be that first rounder that he was drafted at in 2024. And Baltimore's going to need him to step up, like we just talked about. Darius Washington is not going to be in the lineup. With Darius Washington in that lineup, he's at strong safety. Malachi Starks is at free safety. Kyle Hamilton's playing wherever you want him to be it in the nickelback or wherever. That means Marlon Humphrey, Nate Wiggins are 2 guys on the outside. Well, now Marlon Humphrey's probably going to shift to the slot. That means TJ Tampa or Chidobe Awuzie is going to play on the outside, meaning Nate Wiggins is going to be this team's CB1. The number 1 corner on this team. Now, I've got all the confidence in the world in him to be able to play like that, right? But he's got to show me. Okay? I'm excited to see it. I think he's going to have a phenomenal year this next season. How many interceptions for him in 2025? He got one last year. It was electric. It was a pick six against Cleveland. Love that. Sorry, Reed. Let me know how many he gets in 2025. Let me know in the comment section down below. Name the interceptions right now. Let's round this one out with one more guy. Offensive tackle Roger Rosenard. And I know it's kind of interesting to go offensive line when talking about a breakout player because, they're not flashy. They don't have a ton of statistics. But you know who else didn't have a ton of statistics? Yeah, TJ Watt. When going up against Roger Rosenard as a rookie. 22 pass rush snaps in Week 16, 3 pressures, 0 sacks, 0 quarterback hits, and a 52.3 pass rush grade. And then the wild card game in the freaking playoffs. 23 pass rush snaps, 4 pressures, 0 sacks, 0 quarterback hits, and a pass rush grade of 64.1. Okay, that's one future Hall of Famer. How about another one for you as a rookie? Might I remind you. Against Myles Garrett, 56 total snaps, $40 million a year, Myles Garrett, by the way. A 59.5 overall grade, that was his lowest of the season. A 52.1 pass rush grade, that was his lowest of the season. Only 2 tackles, 0 sacks, 0 quarterback hits, and 4 pressures. That's all pass blocking right there, but he's phenomenal in run blocking as well, an 84% run block win rate. When you're an offensive tackle, when you're an offensive lineman at Baltimore, you got to be able to block for the run. Because when you got Lamar Jackson and when you got Derrick Henry and Todd Monken calling the shots, you're going to lean on the run a lot. This is a really good group, okay? Especially in the middle and on the outsides. Ronnie Stanley, you locked him up. Tyler Linderbaum, you're probably going to lock him up soon. Roger Rosenard, I think, is going to be the best tackle on this roster, okay? That sounds a little bit dramatic. Possibly I'm speaking hyperbolically, but you can book it. You can, what do they say? Clip that, chat? Is that what they say, Reed? Clip that. Chat, clip that. Roger Rosenard is going to be the best tackle on this team in 2025. Thanks so much for watching today's video. If you're still watching, it's obvious that you enjoyed today's coverage. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. Make this Facebook official. And speaking of Facebook, I'm on social media. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram. Both of those places at Joey Petersen 8. For more Ravens coverage, you can find me there. We'll see you next time.